Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take another look here at quite a few coins actually. We're going to take a look at 5. These are requests from my community members, so I just want to make sure to get to them all because we're trying to figure out what good dollar cost average targets are going to look like, and that's essentially the whole point of this, is to get you some effective buy orders in place so you can get those limit orders filled. Now we're looking at DOT, Cocoin, Cartesi, Aave, and Aave. Those are the 5 we're looking at here today because those are the recent requests. Thanks again to my community members for requesting that I cover this. If you're not currently a community member, I appreciate you checking it out. Consider joining. I actually have a trading academy, community, and signal group where we all learn to grow together as members, and it's just an amazing experience. So thank you so much to my current community members for making that just such an awesome place, and I like getting to know you better. You're really awesome people. That being said, taking a look here at DOT. So what we're looking at first of all is just going to go ahead and address some key level supports and resistances. So what we're going to do, and it does kind of look like we're kind of really close to one, is we're just going to go ahead and draw some lines out here. And again, these aren't just random lines. I'm picking these lines based on previous resistance levels and support. You see how the price came up here? To test that as a resistance level, stayed below for quite a few months, came above, broke through that, came back down to retest. It's a very common practice. A lot of times that just kind of reaffirms that is a new support level. So hypothetically, when it retests there, this would be a good entry point just based on the simple fact that it retests that level and went into all-time high territory. That was price discovery, obviously went pretty crazy for a while, but generally speaking, that's what we're looking for, okay? So that's kind of one of the dollar cost average targets we could look for, or we might actually be right below if I'm not mistaken. We can also look at the previous support as well. So in other words, this area here where the price action was effectively found its lowest point would be the next key level support, because that's hypothetically a new potential low that we can work on. We'll also go ahead and pull up some Fibonacci retracement too, and honestly, it's probably going to be a little bit skewed, but it doesn't hurt to do this. So we'll go ahead and see how much, if there's other targets within that range, okay? So here's kind of what we're looking at. First of all, for DOT, dollar cost average target, first things first, this previous support level, right here at about $7 even. We're below that now potentially. So if today closes below that level, we might want to anticipate the price coming down lower from there. Also keep in mind too that Bitcoin just dumped pretty hard late last night, and that caused a ripple effect here to push DOT down further. So hypothetically, in that case, what I'd recommend is doing a dollar cost average target right around $6.50, because that would put you just above that key level support, whereas the price came down a wick down. So if we do end up closing below there and the price comes down, just put in a limit order at $6.50. Another option as well, because once again, this previous support level at about 360 is confirmed on the Fibonacci retracement, so that would be another area. So to summarize, the second dollar cost average target, or just say a short target, so to speak, if you were to do that, would be right in the 530, 550 range. Maybe 550 to be safe, because again, you want to get a position that's just above a key level support as a potential dollar cost average target or a short target position. In other words, when the price is coming down, oftentimes it comes down, a candle wicks down to that support level and bounces off. So sometimes you don't get filled if you have it right at that level. Just above is perfect, okay? Furthermore, we're looking at 450 as another dollar cost average target. So once again, 460 in that regard. And then below that, of course, 370 is the previous support level that shouldn't be broken. But if it were to, obviously we'll reevaluate. However, leading into that, I would say $4 even would probably be a safer target there to shoot for. So what, $4 even, 460, 530, and of course, $6.40, right in that range. Once again, just above these key levels here. Okay, so maybe go back and watch watch this over and record those ones there. But that's kind of what we're looking at there. All right, so same scenario here. We're just going to rinse and repeat the same behavior for Cocoin, kind of just addressing key level supports and resistances. And we can see there's a strong shelf back here previously, right in that range, which we're below now presently, which is not great. We have another potential support level here that held last summer, right around 9 cents. And of course, all-time low, at least in the relative recent past, back in November, was right there at about 5. So okay, so let's take a close look. Alrighty, let's see what's going on here. You can see that previous support level here is now working as a resistance based on Fibonacci right around 12.5 cents. So 12.5 cents should be the shelf. That's how, if the price were to come back up, it'd probably get rejected out there. That's very synonymous in a lot of ways with 20,000 or 21,000 in Bitcoin. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a retest and a rejection there. The price comes down though, a good DCA target would be right at about, well, we don't want to bother adding to, I mean, you could add to your position now, but for lower DCA targets would be somewhere in the range of 9 cents. I think an even 9 cent would be perfect. Furthermore, we're looking at about 7 cents just below that. And then of course, right about 5, I would say 5.5 would be more appropriate. So 5.5. So 5.5, 7, and 9 cents are good dollar cost average targets here for KuCoin. Because once again, a lot of these key level supports, the price will probably wick down to that level. So if you put your target just above that, in other words, a buy limit order, then you're going to be in a pretty good position to get that filled. Okay. All right, so that was Crow. This is Cartesi. Let's see here what's going on here. CTSI, crime scene investigation. Just kidding. Let's see here. So pull that line out there. It looks like a pretty obvious line in the sand. Look at that. It wicked up here one time, but you can see the price action got pretty much rejected at this area for the most part. Price continues over, effectively retests that level, which is once again right around 11, maybe just say 12, let's say 12 cents, and then it bounces off and it continues higher. Okay, so that's the support level. Then we look at the current price action. It wicks down almost to 12.5, very, very close, and holding strong. So that's a pretty good support level. The likelihood of that breaking below is lowish, but if we were to look at some other supports, let's go ahead and add that. Pretty much right here at about 2.5. It's a pretty big gap. Pretty big gap, actually. What we can look at too here is see if there's any consistency as well, right in this range. Not seeing a tremendous amount, but you could say right here at about 5.75 could also be one. So we'll go ahead and draw that guy out as well. It gets kind of difficult sometimes to do this when it comes to larger time frames, because obviously we're having to go back almost a full year and a half to get these support levels. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look here, see where we're at. All right, so based on traditional levels here, previous support and resistances, 11.5 is a strong key level support. So I would say once again, 11.6, maybe just say round number 12, because once again, that candle wick from before wicked down to $12 and 12 cents and essentially bounced. So I'd say 12 cents would be the most effective one to consider, right? So let's go ahead and use that as a good support level. So 12 cents would be a good DCA target. Just below that, we're looking at 9.25. So 9.5 would be more appropriate. Again, just a little bit higher. Below that as well, we're looking at 7.1. So I would recommend 7.2, just above that. Or maybe even just say even 6, because there is a key level support at $6. I wouldn't say a key level, because that's more so one of those in-between numbers, but it does potentially give us the idea that that might actually work as a support level. Furthermore, the lowest point in which the price went in that trend for that full 6 months was right here at about 2.7, so 3 cents would be an effective target there. So once again, I think it was 12, 9.5, 7.2, and of course, right in the range of about 3 cents, pretty big gap there. You could go with 4 or 4.1, but it's up to you in that sense, how many targets you want. Again, what a good dollar cost average is basically just adding to your position as the price comes down, and you're just adding small amounts at a time, not the full amount. Because again, if you go all in right now, the price continues lower, you're going to feel like a jump, right? It kind of sucks when that happens. So considering the fact that the market is an overall downtrend and it's likely the price continues lower, we can expect that to be the case, all right? So taking a look here at Aave, this I believe is the last one we're covering. No, we're going to cover ADA next. Taking a look at Aave, we're going to go ahead and identify a few key supports as well. Now, do I have the oldest chart here? Bybit oftentimes has older ones. No. Let's see if there's any others. I believe I have the oldest chart, but no. There we go. This will work better. All right, so Aave, let's go ahead and take a look here. So we can see a pretty obvious line in the sand here, right about $92, when the price action was unwilling to go any higher and then took off after that. Okay. There's also support level right here at about $25. Again, that's a pretty big gap. We've got a furthermore here as well. The price action spent a decent amount of time right at about 56. So those should and could be 3 key level supports, but I'm guessing we're below them now, which we are below 2. So a close below $58 is not ideal. We're at 51 right now, so it does seem very likely that we're going to close at that level. And it could imply that the level here, right around $25, is not so far away. And I know it seems kind of crazy. That's a 50% decrease from here. But if you think about it, Aave, not less than 4 months ago, was worth 80% more than it is now. So what's another 50%, right? I don't know. That's just, you get kind of, you have a unique sense of humor when you look at these charts for so long. It's hard not to be sarcastic. I apologize. So taking a look here at Aave, let's go ahead and just go ahead and get some quick fibs here out and see what's going on. All right, so let's take a quick peek here. So first things first, when the price comes down like this, for example, it's a pretty big gap. So if we can see here, between 25 and 50, a lot of room for play here. And obviously, Fibonacci retracement, if we were to go that far out, what we probably should do is actually use the more recent. Let's go with the most recent high and the most recent low to give us a little bit better accurate assessment here. Because again, if you go too far out with Fibonacci retracement levels, sometimes they can give you some flawed results, obviously depending on what you're looking at. Because again, for dollar cost average targets, we want to be able to find realistic targets between here and there, not these very large gaps. Because there is, again, a big gap between 25 and 50 or 25 and 60, so it's one of those things where you need to pay attention. In this regard, we can see $45, I would say 45, 50, maybe you can just say 46 would be a more appropriate target. So a good DCA target here for Aave would be 46, and then furthermore, we're looking at about 43, and below that, 39. Okay. Then obviously you could set another target right around 32, and then below that, right at about 26. Okay, so again, we're just putting these right above these key level supports in this regards. So let me see if I can recap here once more. 46 is a good round number, 43, 39, 32. Okay. And of course, 26 as last potential. And keep in mind, those are good dollar cost average targets. Those could also be very good profit targets because again, there's nice 5 round numbers there to effectively give you potential areas in which you take profit. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at there for Aave, and let's go ahead and get back on track. We're looking at ADA, and we're going to go ahead and see what's going on here. So ADA is definitely taking a bit of a tumble, but let's go ahead and see what's going on here. It does look like, and this is actually very similar to Bitcoin, when just before it took off, it had a very similar pattern where it effectively tested that key level quite a few times before it took off. And we can see that right there at about, what is that? That's 40 cents. So 40 cents is a pretty strong little area there, but the problem is we're almost already there, and we wicked down there already once in May about a month ago. So the probability of it coming lower than that, yeah, it's still there. But generally speaking, at this point, we might want to consider just, kind of looking at the smaller options there and kind of see if we can go from there. In other words, there's a pretty big gap between the lowest point we're seeing right now, 44, and 38. So 38 cents rather would be a good DCA target. I'd say more so 40 cents would be more effective because that was a previous support level and that was tested here recently. Okay, so it's right around 39.6 cents. So 40 cents would be an appropriate DCA target, probably one of the better ones. And then of course there, I would say 35, 30, and possibly even 21. Okay, so those are good targets to shoot for because it does look like ADA is working itself onto this little shelf here. We got this little area that the price is unwilling to get below. But again, Bitcoin is right at 19,000. If it breaks below 19,000 and we see 14,000 as the next target, that's the next target for Bitcoin, then we're going to go ahead and see the same thing for ADA where it comes back down to somewhere in the range of 20 to 30 cents. It's a very strong likelihood. So again, that's kind of where we're at there overall. I hope that some of this made sense and I'm explaining things correctly. That's the whole point of this. Help you learn, become not only a better trader, but to survive this market. So I've got a lot of people flocking to my trading academy right now, kind of wanting to learn more. And I love the fact that they're doing that because this is the best time for you to learn. If you're going to do yourself a favor and become a better trader, learn how to navigate a bear market, and then the bull markets become tremendously better. Okay, so definitely double check that. So that being said, I hope you have a great rest of the day. Hopefully this found benefit for you. If you want to become a better trader, CryptoCache.tech is the website. Link in the description below. I offer third world country discounts and military discounts as well. Message me directly if you have any questions. Thank you so much for your time. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.